question for you. What's the most popular racing game on Steam? I feel like you'd either say one of two things. Forza Horizon 5 or GTA 5. Hey, it's both 5s. Well, I mean, technically you would be right with GTA 5, but no! Forza Horizon 4 in the last 24 hours is in fact the most popular racing game right now. What the heck? Britain. It's kind of rubbish right now. It doesn't look like this. Oh, that's weird. Oh, that's very weird. Just in case you don't know, the main reason this is the case and why I'm kind of confused at the home screen there is that Forza Horizon 4 is in its end of life. It was announced. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. This is weird. Every time I come back, it's weird. Anywho, because the game is in end of life, they actually had the final festival playlist that they had in the game. And now that system is inaccessible. The game is being prepared for complete shutdown. It will still be purchasable on disc because the game is not always online. We'll be able to access this one forever. So it's not completely the end of it's not sad. It's not the end of Forza Horizon 4. And actually, we've still got a couple more months before that's the case. Sorry, I had to. It's just kind of funny. Normally, the first thing that happens when you jump into a Forza game is the festival playlist comes up. But now all we get is the festival playlist history. Oh my god, you can see how little I did. Maybe I shouldn't be exposing this. Hey, no. Let's be honest. Let's be truthful here. Was this the first game with the festival? I don't remember. It might have been the previous game before it, but I already kind of went in, and I went in hard at the beginning. 2019. Oh my goodness. Wait, no, this is only Series 7. Okay, it doesn't show all of it. Or maybe they just didn't have it at the beginning. No, it must have been it first in this game, right? Anyway, I quickly dropped off the face of the earth, as you can see. That's the final one right there, Series 77. To be fair to them, they put in a lot of work to keep this just going and going and going. 77 essential seasons of cars to unlock. Now again, towards the end, they just became repeating cars, which but this is absolutely where Forza Horizon became like this just massive behemoth. Love it or hate it for Forza Horizon 4. This game, again, launched on Game Pass and the numbers were crazy. And even to this day, as I say, right now, the most popular actual racing game on Steam, which I just, honestly, it's a little bit crazy to think about because I feel like most racing games, you think about, oh, it's all about the location. It's all about the amount of cars. Well, FH5 has more cars. Okay, what about the location? Well, every racing game's in the US because they kind of cater towards an American market generally. But no, this one is set in bloody rural Britannia. It's quite different from the normal US of just concrete and no guns. Now, throughout this video, I just kind of wanted to talk about why I think that's the case. Why is this game now still, even when we last made a video on this game, it was doing pretty impeccably. It might have even still been beating Forza Horizon 5. There's a few reasons, and I kind of know why this game is still outperforming everything else. And it's a pretty interesting topic to me, and so I thought as people that enjoy racing games, you would like to know about it too. Oh god, these screens. I forgot about these. The loading is pretty quick. It feels faster than FH5, that's for sure. So the first obvious reason, and I kind of alluded to this a little bit earlier, the farty gatty on its way. Yes, indeed. Excuse me. Game Pass, my friends, has been phenomenal for... It was perfectly timed for... Why did it just spin? It's all-wheel... Is it not all-wheel drive? Why did I ever convert this thing? Oh, yeah, it's Forza. I can rewind. I forgot about that. Game Pass was perfectly timed to take this thing from a pretty well-received Xbox franchise. In fact, I would say, arguably, the most flawless experience when it comes to Xbox IPs. Halo was falling. Gears of War, quite frankly, just can't capture the same charm as it did previously. Which is kind of odd because I feel like shooters in general, right now, realistically, the most popular category of games. Still, 2 generations. We went from racing games being the most popular genre to FPS games being the most popular genre. Mate, I'm having a proper just brain spill. But anyway, it's accessible. You get instant, constant rewards. It's intuitive, it's friendly, and it's available on Game Pass, which now is kind of blended into the paying online experience for Xbox. So, all of a sudden you get a mega popular game. And of course, it's just increasing with the amount of members that get to jump onto Game Pass. And they started releasing the games on Steam again. It was just designed to win. It was properly safe and a relatively open experience to jumping in the game and giving it a go. I like how the racing lane went off the cliff there. Now, of course, as someone from the United Kingdom, I want to sit here and say, well, maybe people like the UK more than America. But I do think it's a little bit more simple than that, and I think essentially people like a little bit of a different experience. A lot of people think of this as their favorite Forza Horizon map. Mainly, I think, because it was their first Forza Horizon game. We've spoken about that a few times before. But it is just different. It's laid out it's such a different experience, especially a British developer making a British game with a Britain/Scotland kind of setting. It just feels... I don't know, the scale of things always feels off to me. I'm not used to driving around in Britain or Scotland or whatever in a game. It just doesn't make sense in my brain. It's a nice breakup in architecture. It is stunning. You can't argue with that. Now look, the elephant in the room is that, again, this game is being delisted soon, and therefore it's on a massive sale. That is obviously right now why the game is kicking off again. And these numbers that I have are just on Steam. We don't know the Xbox numbers, and of course those numbers are going to be pretty great too in terms of actual sales of the game. A lot of people have been playing it on Game Pass for incredible amounts of time and then know that the games are going to come off Game Pass, so they actually end up buying them. I think it's quite a genius move from Xbox, actually, because again, car games get delisted, especially as a new Horizon is coming out. They don't want three competing with each other. They end up competing with them damn selves. So get rid of one, so you don't have to keep renewing the licenses for 3 games when the inevitable Forza Horizon 6 comes out pretty soon. But in a way, people have done the double dip because of that. If you think about Forza Horizon 5. Again, right now, a lot of people are just playing it on the Game Pass system, and they're paying monthly, a pretty high amount of money, to where eventually, by the time the game gets delisted about 10 years from its birth, you think about what, paying £20 a month for that whole time, then being threatened with the idea that it's going away, so you buy the whole thing again for another £20. Mate, they are rinsing people, and you know what? It's a genius move. I can't even deny. As someone that's played a lot of the Forza Horizon franchise, you can look at this game and honestly, I came to the conclusion last time that the game pretty much is always the same. There is nothing majorly new that distinguishes the games. The seasons are in both games. The location is practically all that changes. I would argue that there's a bit more storyline in the newest game, which is great for me. I love that stuff, but again, it's quite soft, it's quite safe. There's nothing major that actually makes them crazily different than each other. But back to it, The Crew 2 is currently $1 across all platforms. And on Steam, in the last 24 hours, Horizon 4 is still ahead, and its sale is, what, £17 or something like that? That's a lot more money. And that just shows the strength of this IP, which is amazing. Microsoft done an incredible job at making this game just so popular. If you talk about racing games, if I say to people now I play racing games and they don't really know what I'm talking about, they'll actually think, oh, Forza Horizon and that, right? Back in the day, it used to be, oh, you play Need for Speed and Gran Turismo. Most people now think racing game, Forza, which is an insane thing to have seen change over time. I do think it's also based on age. A little bit older and you'll probably still say Need for Speed, but a little bit younger and you're more likely to say Forza. Say the last 20 years especially. Hell, I would argue the last 5, 6, 7 years, Forza Horizon has done craziness. Since 2015, I would say, is where the kind of time changed. Unlike this car, which is crap. That makes no sense. Doesn't matter. It's crap. It's one of the reasons to go. Oi! But I do think we're approaching a pretty interesting time because every racing game recently has underperformed hugely. We've had the TDU experience, which has been dreadful. We've had the CarX experience, which again, small title. It's most people want to play it on console. Need for Speed Unbound didn't do very well, and I don't think necessarily it was their fault alone. I think just the timing of the release and also the lack of advertising and a bunch of things like that. And Forza Motorsport, even its home brand, Forza Motorsport, completely failed colossally. Possibly the worst Forza experience ever to know the light of day. Maybe worse than Forza Street. Forza Horizon 6 has got a big game to play, and I think that's probably why we haven't heard from it for a while. I spoke about this a little bit before, but Forza Horizon 6, if they mess this up, because they're going to be using the new engine probably, and they release a lackluster experience that's worse than Forza Horizon 4 or 5, maybe that's part of the reason they're delisting Forza Horizon 4 now. Because maybe they know it's going to have less stuff to do and less content and less playability than Forza Horizon 4. So let's remove one of the main competitors, which is our own game. It's just kind of funny to think about, really. But also pretty scary. A game that people scream at me all the time to play is BeamNG Drive. And that is, realistically, over the internet, that and Assetto Corsa are the behemoths of racing on Steam. Here's the chart right now. Look at Assetto and BeamNG. Horizon 4 is dominating. Also, yes, I completely forgot about this tractor. What an odd car. What an odd vehicle for them to have. It's so sick. But you think about every other game that exists that right now people are pointing out some smaller issues. They're like, oh, where's the atmosphere? And where's the traffic, for example? Where the piss is the traffic here? There are so many flaws with this game that people don't point out of this game, but they lather it on for these other titles. And that's always quite interesting. And I think ultimately it's because of the fact that it doesn't do very much, the Forza Horizon series, but it does things pretty cleanly and pretty smoothly, and that's a pretty rare thing these days. Forza Motorsport coming in from the distance. Anyway, Forza Horizon 4. It's a really popular Steam game right now. Incredibly popular. It's very confusing. But overall, I think it just shows the power right now of the Forza brand name. Thanks, Forza Motorsport. You kind of did some damage. Check the video, yeah.